So yeah, you've got some interesting things come up already as well. So I can't wait to share them with you. So the way I work is like a little bit ADD in that like we'll do a little bit of the aura drawing. We'll listen to like what the guides are saying and they'll add like their bits in. And then we'll also do some cards. And what happens when we do the cards is that we'll shuffle and like we'll be able to kind of like zone in on key areas or like on specific topics.
Yes.
And guides will tell us like everything about the energy of what the card is. And then because we're not looking at the card, we're just like feeling into it. And then we'll flip it over and that will be like a confirmation or like give us more information on what path to kind of take or where to go with things or like more info on like particular beings or people.
Right. Yes.
Does that kind of help like describe it a little bit?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. So the first thing that I've seen, and I'm just going to finish drawing it.
Okay.
I keep seeing this beautiful like nature setting. I keep seeing a deer. So
a deer.
Yeah. So I keep seeing this beautiful deer. I'm just drawing her in. She's like a feminine energy. And I keep seeing it looks like woodlands, so like a forest. So we've got a deer that's there.
Okay.
This fairy toadstool. And then I'm seeing like this tree in the background and I keep feeling like part of your energy there. So what I feel is happening is because like we all have multidimensional aspects of our soul.
Yes.
So like this life that we're living in this form is like the human life. But like I keep seeing this other part of you that's like really strong elemental like being. So there's like really strong fairy energy. So I'm not sure if like when you were younger, like whether you like really identified with like fairy stories and like fairy energy and sort of like the playful sparkleness that like and magic side of things.
Yes.
You have so much of that multidimensional layer overlapping this earth layer. So you can utilize that and work with that to tune into like plant medicine, to tune into like alchemy, flower essences, working with crystals, working with like herbs and like naturopathic type medicine. Definitely like utilize your intuition because like you're so switched on to understanding what the plants are trying to communicate to you. So even like just, like say if you get an image for like a certain plant or a flower, feeling into like the vibration of that energy because it might be like it could be like an emotional remedy, it could be like a physical remedy. I feel like you're just so switched into that kind of frequency. So it's like I guess like energy medicine, but like still tied into like the shamanic side of things, which is really interesting that we've got the deer come up and the toadstool because I think it's in where is it? Like in Swiss culture, like Nordic culture, I'm pretty sure it's from there. The shamans will drink the deers will eat the red toadstools, the fairy toadstools, and then shamans will drink the urine from the deer because it takes out all of the poisonous properties. But they actually get the hallucinogenic benefits and go on like a shamanic plant journey.
That's so interesting.
I just found it so interesting that I saw like the two things together. So I feel like there's some kind of like shamanic initiation energy that's coming up as well.
Okay.
Like other multidimensional aspect of self. So I'm going to pick a card and we're going to look further into it. I knew that this would be an interesting reading. I was going to go down this path because there is still like the ET side of it, but it's like there's a lot more to you than just like the ET side and the human side. There's just I'm even seeing it stripped back to like even to like the bare bones of it into geometric form. So it's like without even existing like on a physical body level, it's like part of you understands and can go into like geometric realms and geometric shapes. And I'm also seeing that like when you get back to that level, it's like that's where you're able to manifest. So it's like you can meditate and hold different geometric forms and then hold different like visions in them and different feelings and sensations. That's like a good place for you to manifest.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So it's almost.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. What were you gonna say?
I just want to ask. So, how many parts, like how many self do I have, like besides this one? So I know there can be a lot of self in different dimensions. And are they always assisting me from my understanding, right?
Yeah.
How can I connect with them more, or like how do I? Yeah.
That's a really good question, and that's something that like we'll probably dive deeper into. I've just picked a card to represent this,
Yes.
like the more like fairy kind of like woodland dimension. But the image that they're showing me right now as well, so they use my head as like a filing cabinet. So anything I've got on file, it's like they'll pull up and reference. So the movie that they're showing me like right now is the movie Cloud Atlas. Have you seen Cloud Atlas?
No, what's that?
So it's got Tom Hanks in it and
Okay.
Halle Berry, and I think it's like a 3-hour movie.
Okay.
But like watching that will sort of explain it a little bit more. So
Okay.
in that movie, they have lifetimes together, and then there'll be like other lifetimes together. But we don't necessarily have like scientists say there's string theory, which relates to like having 11 dimensions. But when I start to tune into like past lives and I start to look into like your different multidimensional lives, the number that comes up is like 200.
Okay.
So, but these are sort of what you'll find with the aura drawing is that you'll get like the main things that are relevant for like this key point in time now.
Yes.
So things like even like if you want to like write point form or anything, things that are coming up like really strongly at the moment, keywords like I'm just going to write on here as well.
Okay.
So we've got, I get dyslexia. So like my dyslexia gets really bad when I write because my brain's tuned into a multi-dimensional reality. So I apologize if my spelling is really bad.
That's all right.
So yeah, they're just saying we've got alchemy and plant medicine. They're saying shamanic practice as well.
Yes.
Okay, so when I say the word shamanic practice, it triggers this whole vision. I'm seeing you in this other multidimensional reality going through an initiation. So that other multidimensional part of you that lives in that reality is going through, it's like almost going from, you know how like some cultures, like African culture, like the teenagers will get initiated into becoming an adult.
Yes.
Say like around 14 or so.
Yes.
So seeing you in this other reality being initiated into becoming a shaman.
Okay.
So it's like part of you in this other reality is on a vision quest right now, and you're seeing into this human reality. So it's like we're holding that window open and both of you are like seeing each other.
Okay.
So you can tap into that other aspect of self and tune in and ask questions all about like what it's like to be a shaman. How do I use my third eye? Because you will have specific tips in that reality on how you utilize it. And it might be something that you can't find in books.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really cool. Like everything that they're showing me. The other thing that I'm seeing is like, as I look through that window into that dimension,
Yes.
I'm seeing like vines, like leaves and different things that are sort of like covering that dimension. So it's almost like this secret hideaway portal that you can kind of go into in meditation and walk through that threshold.
Yes.
And think images of that.
Yes.
The other thing that you can ask as well, like say if you have some kind of like emotional thing that you're going through,
Yes.
you could say like tune into that shamanic aspect of self and just feel like her energy imprint over you, tune into that. And it's almost like visualizing that you're wearing like her cloak or her...
Just 1 second. Sorry, I have to turn this off because... Yeah, I
okay.
forgot to do that because someone's calling me, which is
that's
not
okay.
ideal. Yeah. Okay, sorry about that.
Don't
Yeah,
worry.
keep going.
That's
Yeah.
okay. It's still recording though?
Yes.
Oh, good. So what they're showing me is that like when we have these other multidimensional realities, one way that we can tune into it is through like visualizing ourselves taking on a piece of the clothing, or say there's a particular ring or like a crown or something that you might like identify within this other lifetime, and you can sort of try on the energy of that garment, and that will sort of help you tune into the frequency of what it's like to live in that lifetime.
Wow.
The other thing that you can do is to tune into your name in that lifetime as well. So you might like tune in and ask like, what is my name in this lifetime? And then you say the name 3 times or more, and that helps you to kind of like almost like a Skype call to yourself.
Wow. Okay.
Which is really, this is like really interesting because usually when I do an aura drawing, we'll tune into the guides in this way, but they're showing me you tuning into like your own version of yourself.
Oh my God, that's
cool.
cool. Yeah.
What I love about this job is that like I just never know what's going to happen. It's just, I love like
that's amazing. How amazing is that?
It's really, really cool to see. I'm like, that is awesome. It's like being your own doctor. That way. So yeah, what they're showing me is if like say you're feeling so like with the current like planetary situation, we're going through like about 6 different retrogrades. So it's like, okay, to help me like shift and move through this like really swiftly and without like too much collateral damage, like what plant remedy or like what medicine can I use vibrationally to help protect me and help to like sail through and help kind of like, kind of go in, I guess, like uninjured. Um, so if you like to meditate, get a vision for like the plant or a feeling or sensation, or even sometimes like a name of the plant or a color, or you might even see like the texture of the leaf. And then sometimes it's like flicking through like a plant encyclopedia or like a herb book, and then type in. There's another book. I'm trying to think of what the author is called. It's a channeled book, and it's by an author that goes by the pen name of Garudis. And he will talk about like the spiritual aspect of plants. So he'll talk about like, the rose relates to like heart chakra, and it's going to help with like love, relationships, self-love, protection.
Yes.
And like nurturing and nourishing the soul, but it's also connected to like Christ consciousness. So it will break down like that plant to do with like the energy medicine side of it. So like some plants will be used for like physical medicine to make us feel better, or to like get rid of parasites, or to, detox, or to help like shift a cough or a cold. What I'm seeing with like you in this other dimension is a lot of this is related to vision quest. Just writing this down as well. So it's related to like vision quest side of things. And it's not that you even have to consume the plant or take it on. It's like you're so energetically empathic and sensitive to these plants that they can, because when you do that kind of like plant journey, it's that you connect to the soul energy of that plant, and that plant is a pure form of consciousness, but you're able to meditate and connect to that consciousness without having to consume the plant.
Oh, wow.
So you're bypassing that physical step is
Wow.
what they're showing you, which is
That's
really
cool.
cool. It's really cool, and it also avoids some of the sickness that like the shamans can get when they consume the plant. And that's a very masculine way of looking at plant medicine, is to think that we have to like, destroy the plant or like pulverize it and boil it up and take it through this process. Whereas like the female way, or like the female shaman way, is to connect with the consciousness direct. And to get the images and messages that way. It might be like more subtle, and it's not going to knock you over like it would in a male way. But I'm seeing that happen and bleed through into this life. So that's really, really exciting. Have you had like anything come up to do with any of this stuff that we've talked about lately? Or any like guidance or dreams or symbols?
Not so much, but I've heard a lot more things about shamanism. I have so many more friends telling me about these things, and it's definitely draw my attention. Yes.
So that's like the synchronicity, like the way that the universe works is like giving us, like synchronicities to kind of like lead us down a certain path as well.
Yes.
So I'm just going to tune into the card and close my eyes and see like what I get. Okay, so it's interesting. What I'm feeling, like the energy that's coming up from the card, it looks kind of like almost like a cauldron or a pot, and it's got like this green medicine boiling. So this really is like still connected to the shaman side of things. And the green represents kind of like that jungle energy, or like the color of the plants. But it's got like a luminescence to it, or like a living light that comes with it. That's not just like from this dimension, it's from like a different dimension. So you can also tune into, this is so cool, like what they're showing me right now. So like here on Earth, the shamans work with the plants that are on Earth. Some of these plants didn't originate on Earth. Some of them have come from other planets. And what they're showing me is that you are like a guardian and a shaman for off-world plants. So there's different plants that we've not discovered yet, and you're able to tune into them and work with them, and they work with totally different dimensions, different information. It's so cool. The closest thing that I can describe to like the flower that they're showing me, and one that will hook you into these other dimensions, is, I'm just going to pull it up on my phone to show you what it looks like.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure it's passion flower. Because I keep hearing them say the word passion, and I'm seeing this purple flower.
Oh, wow.
So hopefully, it is. Oh my God, it's beautiful. so pretty. Look at this one.
Oh, wow. Wow. It's so cool.
So I'm just going to tune into the energy of it, but like even just looking at it before I tune into the energy, see how like in the center there's like these little almost like mushroom like trumpets.
Yes.
And then like all of the like it's not like normal flower petals, it's like all of these different dimensions. Like if you imagine each one of those little strings
Yes.
being like a different dimension.
Wow.
And this is like the portal that it takes you through.
That's so cool.
The other thing is I think passion flower might also be one of the herbs that's used for sleeping and for dreams.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm just going to have a quick look at if it says anything.
Passion flower.
Yeah, so apparently it has fruit as well.
Yes.
Let me just see what else. So it says passion flora is the name, but I kept hearing them say like passion flower. So yeah, apparently you can have it as a tea. So early studies suggest that it might help relieve insomnia, anxiety. It boosts the level of gamma butyric, which is GABA, in your brain. So it boosts like the GABA activity on your brain, compounds lower brain activity, which helps you to relax and have better sleep.
So it's passion flora?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Some people write flower and some write flora.
Okay.
So it comes out of both.
Yes.
But what's interesting, if we talk about like looking at the GABA levels of the brain and talk about lowering brain activity, one of like the biggest kind of like I guess shamanic practices is like getting into different brainwave states. So this could be a flower that helps induce like more of a gamma brainwave. So like to work doing like psychic stuff, what they've found when they hook psychics up to EEGs, like the Tyler Henry, the psychic medium, and Long Island medium, when they hook them up to EEGs, they find that their brain goes into like really, really slow, almost like sleep-like levels. So real like deep state. So what I'm seeing from just like with the passion flower is that it's going to take your brain waves into a deeper state, which means that like you're able to more connect with these other dimensions and other realities. Mm-hmm. So I won't look into that deeper now, but that's like another rabbit hole to like check through now. Yeah. The other thing that I would look up is the what do you call it? Vibrational healing qualities of passion flower. And it will come up with all of the emotional, spiritual medicine side of that. So on a physical level, it helps to like reduce that anxiety and lower that brainwave state. But on an emotional level and spiritual level, it's the color of violet, which is like the, like crown chakra, third eye. This is all about opening these areas up. Yes. Is what I'm seeing. Yes. And not only that, we're seeing that yellow golden color come through the center. So it's giving birth to like a higher spiritual information through these psychic centers. So that's really, really cool. I could just tune into this card and see what else we're getting to do with this. Yes. The shaman side of things. The other thing that I'm hearing is it almost sounds kind of like American Indian chanting in the background. Like I'm hearing, they're saying the word like medicina, which is like South American for like medicine. Okay. But it's like the music is the medicina, is what they're saying right now. So choosing to listen to specific shamanic medicine is also going to help trigger like higher brainwave states and activation. So it's going to flow through that shamanic activation that you're having happen on this multidimensional reality into this earth life reality. And to bridge both the dimensions so that like you're also getting initiated in this lifetime with resonance to this other lifetime. It's really cool. So I'm just seeing like a lot of green and a lot of jungle and a lot of like city and nature. So if you feel like at the moment that things, sometimes on a human level, we can feel like things are just too material or like we just need to like strip everything back and get back to the core of things. Just like go for walks in nature, even if it's just to like the park and just, popping your feet on the ground or like, laying with your back on a tree, just like even little subtle things like that. But it's about like consciously connecting to the earth. And what I'm seeing is she's just showing me like the earth. I'm just hearing like messages come from her. So it's like she's just like wanting to synchronize your heartbeat with her heartbeat. And it's a drum. But I'm just seeing it's like she's going through clearing different layers of emotions and getting like your heart synchronized with her heart. And she's sort of like showing me like you beating as one. And this is like part of this shamanic initiation. She's also showing me like pay particular attention to dreams. And then I'm seeing like when she says that, all of a sudden I see these ET eyes come in. I'm seeing an owl come in, which are often like sometimes ETs that look kind of like greys will project as an owl to try not to scare us. So I'm seeing it looks like a being that, I would say like has more like the typical almond-shaped eyes. I'm just going to draw this one in as well. But I'm seeing like visitations happen through dreams. So sometimes like, do you wake up and feel like the dream is real? It's like you remember so much detail from the dream, or even like the feeling of how you felt in the dream.
Yes, I had a strange dream a few months ago. I dreamed about aliens, and then I had a physical sensation when I woke up. I see this very bright light, and something in my stomach that was really strange. Yeah.
And did you feel like with your stomach, because sometimes we can wake up and we might have been like part of like a hybrid program, or had like experiments done, or even like eggs taken, or like
I've heard a lot about that. Yeah, I didn't know, but that was a strange experience because it was a physical sensation when I woke up. I can feel it. Yeah,
so just paying particular attention to that, because those sort of things, when the dreams seem realer than like reality, or you can like think back to those weeks ago and you can still see it so clear, like it's watching a movie, that's usually when it's been a contact experience and you've actually had like a real visitation.
Oh, wow.
And, so just to know that that's like confirmation. But sometimes it'll be on a physical level. Sometimes it's almost that they take you out of body, or your spirit body will go on a journey. And this is where they're showing this shamanic side of things is like coming through to help with the ET reality. So it's like you doing the training on the shamanic level. It's also like helping prepare you and connect you with more of this ET reality. So some people, when they go on a shamanic journey, they do it while they're asleep and they don't always bring back the information or the insight. But they're showing me it's like they're teaching you sort of like waking consciousness, like how to remember and how to bring back information. I'm just drawing in the picture at the same time as we speak. So things like having amethyst next to your bed help to retain like insights and dreams, and like have almost like a recall when you've had sort of like a psychic dream. So especially like in a cluster, so not just like a little stone, but a cluster, there's something in the formation that helps to kind of capture and hold on to the memory of that experience.
So what is that? It's because I don't know the word.
I'll just go get one because I've got one in my room as well.
Yes.
So like this sort of one.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
See how it's like a cluster instead of just like a little tumble stone?
Yes.
You'll notice the difference after sleeping with it there for, say, like a week or two. If you take it away, you'll notice that the dreams are different. They're harder to remember.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. Yeah.
So they work really well. But the other thing that they're showing me to do with the dreams is that you're getting like particular tasks and missions that they're giving you to do with this dream state. So they're really wanting you to have like a journal next to your bed. So if you find that you're having to go through, because they're showing me you going through like certain doorways in your dream, or there's like certain tests that they're giving you. And have you noticed that in your dream? Like there's almost like puzzles or things that you're having to figure out at the moment?
I can't remember, but at some stage I really trying to write down my dreams every morning, but then I just get kind of swept away a little bit. So I didn't have so much memory about my dreams lately.
Yeah. Okay. I'm just finished drawing this picture.
Yeah.
But yeah, what they're showing me is I'm seeing things like, for some reason, they're showing me like a Rubik's Cube. Like the cube that you have to solve. It's like a riddle.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm seeing things like that. This is like one of the ETs that I'm seeing as well. But he's coming through like a portal.
Okay.
So I'm just going to tune into the energy and just get a name with this one. So the name that I'm hearing is Muji.
Muji?
Yeah,
Okay.
MOOJJI.
Okay. Yes.
So the way that we like tune in with them, and I just keep seeing this like heart energy just over like the heart chakra too. So the energy like where I feel this being coming from is Arcturus. So there's a real Arcturian energy.
Yes.
So a lot of the Arcturian beings, they help work with like translation. They work with like a lot of ET script writing as well. They also work like sometimes like the light language. They'll work with that, and also I'm trying to think how to say. I just finished drawing this part. We'll pick a card for him as well and find out some more information. But yeah, they work a lot with like ET script, light language, healing, and they work with mainly like predominantly healing the light body, so like the energy bodies. So they can also work with like our acupuncture system. They can help to kind of like fine tune and cause like activations and things as well.
Yes.
But I'm seeing it's like they're working with giving you like different puzzles. So like the Rubik's Cube is, you know, the cube that has the stickers and you like twist it to get the colors to match up.
Yes.
I'm seeing that happen, but I'm seeing it happen like on board a craft, on board a UFO. So there's like certain, when we have experiences where we're getting given like tests or we're seeing ourselves like in a classroom situation, sometimes it's that at nighttime when our physical body goes to rest, our like other ET part of ourselves is kind of like in a non-earth school, and we're learning about things like ascension, things like about helping humanity, things about like the environment, different lessons on like healing and things. So if we think about earth being like a kindergarten or primary school, a lot of the time when we go to learn off world, it's almost like going to university at nighttime.
Yeah.
So if you wake up feeling like you just haven't had like much of a rest, sometimes it's like when you're doing so much work off world, it's like busy lifetime.
Yes. So this ET is myself or
no? So these ones, like with the shamanic energy, like what I was seeing, the deer is a guide, so we'll get a name for the deer as well.
Yes.
But I'm just seeing like that other like dimensional aspect and that lifetime come through. So that's what I had to draw in as well.
Yes.
Just find the right color. Oh, here it is. So the other color, the thing that happens like in the aura when it's like past life or multi-dimensional lifetime come up, we have like this aqua sort of turquoise color that shows up in the aura. And around you, I've been seeing it like around the right-hand side, which is like external. So sometimes it's like when we've asked to find out like more information about like ourselves and our souls and just sort of like gain greater understanding. So I'm just showing this is what everything looks like right now. And I'll like scan it and do like a digital copy because what happens is like I adjust the colors because when I see it, a lot of the time it's like glowing light. So it comes out like better when I put it through the computer.
Yes.
You can sort of like add saturation to it.
Yeah.
So with the ET though, I feel like Muji is like a guide. So even like when you do like prepare yourself for meditation, it's good to do like an energy clearing first. See yourself sitting, you know, like within a gold bubble or a sphere, and just make sure like, you know, that you're sort of not allowing anything of lower vibration to come in. And when you feel like connected and safe, then it's like to say Muji 3 times or more. And what that does, it allows sort of similar how to like we're connecting on Skype now. So it's like having the name to come in frequency match. So it would just be like Muji, Muji, Muji. And the energy that comes through, like even with just saying the name 3 times, I feel like this portal open up around the heart. And I see like and feel like all of this higher dimensional vibrational information come through. So it's like massive downloads. It's like in the movie The Matrix where you see like the writing on the screen and he can see it, he can read it. So Muji is helping you to understand like higher dimensional energies and realities and to bring through like your own information and script. Have you done any ET script writing or like any type where you feel like that there's just something trying to come through?
No.
So if you feel like guided after connecting like with the energies and things, even if it feels odd, just starting to let your hand move around with the pencil and allowing that energy of your higher self or the ET part of yourself to flow through. Because I'm seeing like all different symbols like written in books, like ET symbols. And what happens when you start to like either speak your own light language or write your own light language, it's like self-activation. So it's like we're turning our own light switches on. We're also like activating our own acupuncture system, which is part of our light body as well. So we're turning on that ascension process and we're quickening that kind of energy. So even just just allowing like with your pencil to sort of like move by itself, or if you feel like any like flow or direction, you know, like how when you're dancing, like you listen to music and you feel that you like become one with the music or flow.
Yes.
It's to feel that with the energies that are coming through, but allow it to flow through your pencil.
Yes.
So they keep showing me like a green forest in relation to this card. So they want me to jump back to that. I'm going to flip the card and we'll see like what it means. This is really cool. So, you know how we were talking about it's like connecting like with the plant medicine and shamanic side of things. This card is like one of the best cards we can get to represent this. So this is Ace of Cups. But see how it's like a cup of medicine.
Yes.
But it connects directly to like different dimensions. You can see like all of this activation and power. And it's similar to, we said before, like a cauldron with like the green plant medicine. But you can see it helps to connect to like higher source energy and to these other spiritual realities. So some people see like when they're like doing shamanic plant medicine, they'll see like a grid or this kind of actual net come up to do with like DMT and different things. So that's really, really interesting. The other thing that we've got is there's a connection to like higher self. So because we've got this connecting to source, but it comes through to the bottom onto like the earth level as well.
Yes.
So it's like plugging back into like your source energy, but you're also like a conduit to bring through information and things. To like the earth realm as well. So definitely like keeping a journal about like your dreams, about like any meditations and things, because I feel like it's like little breadcrumbs. There's like a little bit of a trail and it's going to lead into like a bigger thing. It's like Alice in Wonderland, like falling down that rabbit hole. Because I saw like a rabbit, or heard them say like rabbit hole before, like that we're going down a rabbit hole. Other image that they're giving me is like also the Matrix. They're referencing again like the blue pill and the red pill.
Yes.
It's almost sort of like taking both of them, and it's like staying 1 foot in each reality, which is kind of like what's happening with the shamanic side of things too, with you know, having a foot in this earth realm but having a foot in this shamanic reality. So I'm just going to put this card back in.
Yes.
Was there anything else that you wanted to ask, like around that shaman side of things?
Can I ask her name?
Oh yeah, with the deer as well.
Yeah.
And do you mean like with
the shaman? Yes.
Yeah, sure. Let me just see. Oh, that sounds beautiful. So the name that I can hear, I'm just going to write you in brackets so that we know it's you. So the name that I can hear, and I'll write shaman. So the name that I can hear for you, like in this other reality, is Naisha. So you can tune into her just by saying like Naisha, Naisha, Naisha. And her energy, it's really, really interesting. It's like a really pure white color, but it feels like it can fly. So like on the earth level, like we can feel like gravity is very dense and heavy, but her energy, her spirit, I'm seeing it like become one with the trees. I'm seeing her energy be able to go from being contained in one container, but then with her consciousness being able to go out and exist in all things at once at the same time. So she can send her consciousness from like in her body to then being like in all of the trees, all of the ground cover of the forest, all of the animals. And she experiences consciousness from like a, how would you say, like a group or a global type perspective, like really, really clever in being able to project consciousness in and out. And I think that's why she's able to project and communicate into this like other multidimensional reality now. And it's interesting because I'm seeing her go through this shamanic initiation, but she's already surpassed like a lot of her teachers in her natural talent and ability.
Wow.
So yeah, it's really, really cool. Her name is spelled Niesha. So with the ETs and with some of our other multidimensional selves, their names will come through as syllables because each part of the syllable will hold a vibration. So it's not like how we have like our earth names here, but it's like a vibrational name. So it forms like a blueprint. So like with Muji, it's like the sound of the name opens up a sort of a frequency. And with Niesha, there's like this soft floating just beautiful harmony that she has with her. And I'll just tune in with this deer because I'm seeing the deer. There's like a telepathic connection she has with this deer. So what I'm seeing is it's like being at one, like conscious and telepathic with this deer. I'm seeing her like calm and be able to communicate with her in that way. You know how people talk about like animal telepathy or animal communication?
Yes.
Like she just naturally had that ability from like such a young age. She was able to like communicate and talk to the animals. So yeah, I'm seeing that ability as well. I'm just going to see what the name of the deer is with that one. It's funny because sometimes like with some of the beings, they don't really have like a name, but it's like our human mind will want to give them a name.
Yeah.
And they'll be like, but I don't really have a name. It's like they recognize each other by vibrational feeling.
Yes.
But to like our human self, a name is that vibrational feeling. It's like we have to put a physical characteristic to it. So I'll just see if there's anything else. I'm just hearing the deer say, it's like if you have to name me, like call me something that like how would you say, like is a fit or is in harmony. And then I'm just hearing the word like harmony. So I'm just writing that one down with the deer. That was the name that I kept hearing a few times. And so this deer harmony, she will often use it as sort of like how to say, you know how like people talk about like animals becoming like a familiar. So you have like a cat, like like some of the fairy tales and things will talk about like a witch being able to shapeshift into a cat, and they'll use the cat's eyes to go and see through like a room that they're not in. I'm just seeing it's like harmony. The deer will be in the forest and Niesha will tune in, and the deer will share and connect its consciousness with her and show her like what she's seeing. So to alert, like, to anything that she needs to know that's happening in the forest. But I'm seeing her more being alerted to animals that need help. So like she very much like works with like healing animals. Like I'm seeing like you holding like birds and things, and then like this gold glowing out of your hands. So there's like real healing capabilities that I'm seeing in this shamanic lifetime. And then like with the ET part of it as well, there's like this level of, the only word I can get is like genius. There's this sort of like higher genius that's like outside of our earth capabilities that like you're learning like with puzzle solving and things, but it's also like thinking outside of the box, I guess would be like an earth term to use. So I'm just going to, I just started to shuffle and 2 cards have fallen out.
Okay.
So we'll see what they are. So I'm just going to tune into the energy of these.
Okay.
So these ones are to do like with the ET side of things. Okay, so one of them I'm still seeing like that blue healing energy.
Yes.
The other one I'm seeing like yellow as well. So yellow, when it comes up, like because each color has like a different meaning or a different vibration. So I see color as like a language, and it speaks to you. So when I see yellow come up, it's usually around like study, education, learning, or there's like some kind of soul lesson to learn or something as well. So I'll just tune in and see what we get. Okay, so there's a balance at the moment between like not giving away too much of your energy. So not feeling like that you've got, like something to do here, something to do there. It's really about like conserving and holding your power and holding like just things close to your chest. It's about like not having to share with everyone until that you feel like you're safe and that you can like, you know, trust certain people to talk about with I guess like this sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
It's like very much using intuition. It's also like what they're showing me is part of the lesson is like your nature can be so sweet that sometimes people would take advantage of that. So they're just sort of saying it's about being aware of people's true intentions, because like where you come from on an ET level, like that ET part of your soul, people don't have false intentions. They're like open, like we have pure like feelings, and like our soul will communicate what it is that we have in our heart. Like we don't hide or play tricks or, you know, have like different emotions hidden. It's like we just see things for what they are, and if you know, there's anything, we're able to talk about it. But they're just sort of saying be careful, because like your true nature is to like to be open-hearted and to be, you know, loving and giving. Even like if someone's sort of done you wrong, it's like you might still give them like a second chance or a third chance or a fourth chance. And so they're just sort of like protecting you in that way. So I'm going to flip these two cards. I think this is interesting. So this is really funny. So the energy like Muji has behind him is like a sun. And then we've got the card of the sun.
Oh, wow.
Quite often this will happen. It's quite hilarious. So you've got two beings that are here, and this sun represents the cycles of time. It's also sort of like that yellowy gold that we talked about, to do with like lessons and learning. So the sun does not have to dim its light for anyone. That is like part of the lesson of the sun. The sun exists as like pure joy and nourishment, and you know, it is the spiritual center of like our galaxy as well. And it's kind of like it's interesting because different nations on Earth will see it as a different thing. So some people will see it as like, I'm trying to think which culture. So some people associate the moon with like the feminine because it dictates cycles and things. But like the original people here in Australia will see the moon as like feminine and as life-giving, and the moon as like the male, because it will like sort of dominate the cycles of females and kind of like, you know, like shape and mold it. But they'll see like the sun being like life-giving, like all of the plants wouldn't exist if it wasn't given life by the sun. Like the biophotons that come from the sun, and then there's like, it's also got a spiritual activation level to it as well. And sometimes when you like remote view it and you look at it from a psychic level, you'll see like all these rainbow rays that come out of the sun, and they have like light language codes and things within them. And sometimes people will take photos near the pyramids, near like the Inca pyramids and things, and they'll have a ray come down, and people have actually photographed like script, like hieroglyphs in the light of the rays that have come down from the sun. Yeah, so there's a lot of like technology that we don't understand on a spiritual level yet, that we're only just really starting to capture, because our photography, like our cameras, getting so much more capable of capturing other dimensions. But
orbs,
if you look at it psychically, it's definitely there.
Yeah.
The other thing that we've got within this card of the sun is we've got like all of the zodiac signs, but they're like revolving around the sun too. So this is also some of the message that I started to get last year, and a few of my other friends that do this sort of work as well. Some of us were seeing ourselves like in meditation, and I was doing like a lot of float tank work at the time, like meditating in float tanks. And I kept seeing the whole float tank fill up with light, and I kept hearing the words like, you are the sun, just be the sun. So some people are like connected with this sun energy, so even just meditating and feeling what it's like to be like your own sun, because like the sun is a spiritual being, like the earth is a spiritual being. You know, people talk about like Mother Earth, and like she's going through her own ascension. So some of us have like this sun lineage, and the lineage is connected to like the angelics as well. So not only do you have like the ET, the elemental, you've also got like this angelic energy. So there's so much like so many frequencies that you hold that make up this beautiful being. So it's interesting. It's not so common to have like all these different like frequencies where you feel like, yeah, I connect to like the angelics, I connect to the ETs, I connect to like the fairy kingdom and like romance kind of things.
That's interesting.
Yeah, it does. I'm just looking for. I think
Yes.
I've thrown my pencil somewhere. Oh, there it is. So yeah, you've got angelic connections as well.
I also want to ask because when I did a hypnotherapy session, I saw myself like just I just want to ask, do I have
Yeah.
past lives, like what's my past lives, because I see when I was under, I feel like this is my first life on earth or something.
Mm.
Yeah, so
And
I
that's
just want to clarify. Yeah.
that makes sense because like when I see like the shaman side of things come up, I would expect it to be a past life to do with Earth. But remember, they were saying to me that you were connecting with plants that weren't on Earth.
Oh yeah.
You were connecting to plants that were on other planets. So that's where like I just start to get like little tingles all over my head, and goosebumps. You know, like when you feel like something is right or something is true, you get
Yeah.
that kind of like energy feeling. So that's more information I was getting, is that like your soul has been um some like ETs, like there's cat beings that
Yeah.
connect to like Sirius or Lyra,
Yeah.
or even like other planets.
Yeah.
And then there's cat beings that have traveled from like other galaxies and have traveled for like generation after generation after generation, that they've lost their star heritage, in the sense of like they become a global or like an extra galactic citizen. So that's what I'm seeing with you. It's like there's not particularly like one dimension or one place that's like true home.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will have like their true home and have had lifetime after lifetime on Earth,
Yeah.
or like lifetime after lifetime on, you know, like Arcturus or somewhere. I'm just going to also write down that this being was Arcturian.
Mm-hmm.
So with you, I see like so many places. There's like Pleiadian connection, Syrian connection, Arcturian, Orion. But most of all, like the strongest connection, I see like your soul come back from like way before those planets and stars were like conceived. And I'm seeing like your soul sort of like a wise, like a wizard in a way. So it's like journeying from so many places, gathering information, becoming like a record keeper for source in a way. And this is why they're saying like important to write like symbols and glyphs, because like when you read them, it's like activating your memories of becoming like a soul. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Wow.
I'm just writing some of these down as well.
And how about, I also want to ask about my like intimate relationships.
Yeah,
because
sure.
I feel like I'm in the time that I feel I'm no longer connect with them anymore, because I have a boyfriend and a husband, so we're in an open relationship. We live together in Melbourne. Yeah, so this is a time because I'm just by myself now. I did a course and I'm just alone, and I feel like I love alone time so much more than living with them. So yeah. I don't know if
and I think relationships are changing. So it was something like I was experimenting with last year, and like towards the start of this year as well, was like because I think that the way that we can love, it can't necessarily fit into a box the way that like the earth reality has tried to force it to be. I think like our souls and our energy, there's so much to see and to experience, and so many different types of love and so many different things that we can, you know, exchange and get from each other on so many different levels. So like one partner might be more of a spiritual match, and there's like some kind of like real tantric energy and unspoken communication on a soul level with them. And then there's others that it's like there's a heart security and there's like a soul bond where you've had lifetime after lifetime together with them, and they feel really familiar and you have like a lot of love for them, and it's really hard to like disconnect from that. I think that that's part of like where our consciousness is heading. We're heading away from like jealousy and wanting people to, you know, to be happy like on all levels. The other thing I forgot to show you too was this was the other card that fell out.
Okay.
What this one represents, we've got the yellow again, which I was saying before, like with learning lessons and different things.
Yes.
And this one I think relates to like what we just asked as well. So it's not a surprise that this one fell out. So this one's like the feminine goddess, but she's being pulled down by a tiger energy.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to see, it looks more like a male tiger. And she's got like the horns of Aries. So Aries is like about determination, and it's about like being headstrong, and it's about like having purpose and having vision. Really, really good like with business, things like that. We also have like this red energy here, which represents like the root chakra or base chakra, which that governs like sexuality, sexual energy. It's like the beginning of where Kundalini energy comes from. And you can see the tiger is trying to pull her down, but she's aspiring and trying to shoot for like this spiritual nature and like this Kundalini evolution is the word that they're showing me. And there's also this little pillar, this like spiritual significant pillar. Roses are on. I don't know if you can see the roses. So these roses represent the evolution and Christ consciousness energy.
Yes.
So it's about like uninhibited love and the flames that are coming from that of like a spiritual nature. So it's not that they're like a physical fire from like an earth level. It's like a soul fire type thing with the Christ consciousness energy as well. So Christ consciousness energy is, people talk about like, you know, Jesus and like Mary Magdalene, like that sort of energy that was on the earth. A lot of people also talk about like him being ET in himself.
Yes.
And coming to bring like lessons of, you know, like about sort of more like open, loving everyone and like loving everyone from like a higher perspective about, you know, if someone does wrong to you, it's like show them love. So we've got this sort of energy as well. The other thing that's significant is she's holding the wand of the sun.
Yeah.
See, it's a sun and you have the sun here.
Yes.
So she is like aspiring to like reach the sun, but she actually is the sun. So this is about you recognizing the magic that you hold within. And what's interesting is if we look at this flower at the sun, it looks like the passion flower.
Oh my God, yes.
How cool is that?
Oh, wow.
So this is why like we do all of the different things with the aura drawing and with the like listening to the guides, and then like sometimes, not always, but sometimes I'll look up because I can see the vision of the picture. So I'm like, all right, we have to look it up. But this was so funny because these cards fell out. I didn't even get to shuffle the deck. They just like flew out under my desk. But yeah, the soul qualities in these cards on a conscious level of like what the colors represent on a chakra level.
Yes.
The yellow is about solar plexus. So this is all about with the relationships at the moment. This is about like you not having to be swayed or pulled in one direction or the other. This is about you finding out the core of what you really want. It's about solar plexus, which is about like your willpower. So it's like, where does your will sit right now? And it's also got like the sexual energy with the red and the orange in the other card too. But it's about not letting someone else's willpower dictate what it is that you want. And the other thing I'm hearing them say is it's okay to change your mind. So it's okay to decide one thing and then turn around and go, no, you know what? Actually, this is what I'm feeling right now. Because I'm seeing it as there's a path, and I'm seeing it sort of like going one way. It's like going around a rock and dividing in two, and then coming back together as a whole again. So I still feel like the relationships, there's still kind of some evolution or like some other piece of the puzzle. Has something felt like unfinished?
Yeah, I really connect with my boyfriend, but then after I get this ET thing, he just couldn't wrap his head around. He felt really difficult about this, but then I feel difficult to the energy is just getting a little bit intense for me, so I kind of want to pull away because I don't want to get dragged down, because I like to stay with people that understand my worlds now. That's what's happening.
I can understand that as well. So my partner, he is only sort of like just hearing about the ET stuff for like the first time, has never met anyone that talks about this sort of stuff, and it's hard because it's, you know, at the same time, you want to be like with other star seeds and, you know, to be able to talk about it openly and not have to hide in the glass. We're also here to like bring light to it, but it's kind of like to gently crack open that dimension and that reality and to subtly introduce it, because they've been drawn to us for a particular reason as well. And there's some kind of activation happening in that. And my partner, he said, he's like, I said to him, like, he was asking me questions about all of this stuff, and I'm like, is that freaking you out? Is that we're just writing? And I'm like, and he's like, it's interesting. He's like, just don't tell me too much. It's like he has his limits as well.
Yeah, that's what my boyfriend just said yesterday. He said he can see his own limitation because when I talk about all this information, he can just feel very difficult. He said he can feel some aversion towards this. He feels like I'm in some kind of crazy religion, and I'm in the fantasy world. And then I find it difficult that if he put it in that way, and I'm just like, oh, maybe I need some space. So maybe that's it for the conversation. Yeah, I feel like, yeah. So, but we do have a really good connection. But I just feel I'm not sure how this will go, but I'm certain that I will need some more space to just, because every time I'm alone, all these messages I just have a lot of download when I'm alone, and I love it. Yeah,
that's so good. That's what I was saying, like with this ET, and like what I'm seeing right now is that it's not just him, but he's sort of like helping open that portal and bring through that information, and definitely like just keep like writing it down. Like I'm seeing so much channeled information and messages, but like when you connect into this other shamanic ET part of yourself as well, like this other multi-dimensional part, there's like more pieces of the information to come to it. But with the shamanic side of things, just keep listening out for like synchronicities. So whether it's like number synchronicities, symbolic synchronicities, but definitely like look into the plant side of things. Actually, I'm just going to run and grab a book. I think I might even have, back from like my early college days, I've got a book on vibrational plants and the medicine of the plants. I just want to look up if it's got passion flower in it.
Okay.
I'll be right back. All right, this is the name of the book.
Yes.
So it's Flower Essences.
And okay, yes.
So I think this author was actually a channel, and I think they've written more than one book. So this is the cover of it. It's like a plant sort of garden.
Vibrational healing. Yeah.
And I'm just going to see if there's anything.
A quick question. Is smoking marijuana good for the spiritual development, or depends, or it's not good?
Yeah, so I think that it depends. Some people will get like lost in it. So if we think about like from a shamanic point of view, they'll use like certain herbs and things as a tool, and they'll have like a set intention. So some people will use it for like recreational or for like a party type use. Others will use it as a visionary guide. So I think it really depends on like the respect that we have around plants, and sometimes the energy of that sort of thing can be like too strong at times. Sometimes it will be, like used as like a medicine. So I think it's really just about negating like where you are at that particular time in life and what feels right for you.
Yes. Okay. Right. That's a good answer for me. Yeah.
It's something for me that like I've always felt that it's super, super strong, and sometimes I don't like that feeling of being like out of my body where I feel like I can't control it, because I only need the smallest amount and then I'm like off out of this dimension. So it's only something that I'll do like every so often, maybe like I think I might have had it at the start of the year.
Okay.
And I had just like a few tokes on a joint, and then all of a sudden I'm like, I have to go lay down. I laid down, and then all of a sudden I saw this lotus flower rising up underneath me. It lifted up out of a pond, and then it turned into a rocket, and I was launched into outer space, into the cosmos. God. And then the rocket started to come back down with like the star energy around, and I looked in the room, and there was all these like vines and green plants like growing in the room. And I'm like, I need to sleep. I'm like, this is a lot of information to take on.
Wow.
So yeah, it can be really, really intense. So sometimes it's just too much. But yeah, everyone's different. I think that's where like, we have to use it wisely.
Our intuition. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's got another name. The passion flower. Oh, hold on a second. Passion flower. So awesome. The honey vine produces a blue-pink purple bloom from May until July. It is commonly prescribed for nervous conditions such as hysteria, insomnia, restlessness, and nervous headaches. Oh, this is so cool. I'm going to take a photo and send this to you.
Yes.
Because like even talking about like Lemuria and the karmic background of the plant, and about like eastern of Lemuria, considered the fruit like a delicacy. It's also connected with Hawaii and Honolulu.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Oh, it's also connected to Christ energy. It's also connected to the heart and throat chakra. Cool. There's a little bit on this. Oh, this is cool. Um, you know how we were talking about dreams before and about like pay attention to dreams?
Yes.
This is people who want to learn from their dreams. So this is about you learning from like the spiritual things that are happening to your dreams. And it's about like encouraging you to like work with that energy too.
Yes.
But the thing that I'm hearing the ETs and the beings say at the same time is that this is like, you know, it's some information, but it's connected to like the author that was writing at the time as well. Whereas like with you, with the different plants and things, it's also about you like finding, I'm just going to take a photo so I remember to send it to you. This is about you connecting with different flowers and plants that you see. So you might see like a rose, but it might be like, you know, something the size of like a giant beach ball that doesn't exist on the earth.
Yeah.
So even just like drawing them and like writing down, if you hear a name, that's going to be sort of putting some of the energy. I'll send this to you now as well, so it goes straight. Just send it on Facebook Messenger.
Okay.
Was there any other questions that you wanted to ask as well?
Oh, what's happening? I think that's about it. I just feel that connection with whatever like beings from other dimensions. I feel like they're really helping me in a way. I can just feel that. That's why I would like to find out more. I only started this like maybe 3-4 months ago, so it's like everything's quite new.
Looking at like everything that's come up in the aura drain, it's like trying not to think about it as like having only just started, because like your soul has been on this journey for so long. It's like what I'm saying, like being a record keeper for source. Like just your spirit has traveled to so many like far off places and collected so much information. So it's helping with, you know how we talk about like people wanting to help with the earth and the environment and like the spiritual evolution of the planet. You haven't just helped with that. It's like you're working with the spiritual evolution of the whole entire galaxy. So like it's a really, really massive job, and it's something that like it's too hard to complete in one lifetime, if that makes sense.
Yes. Yeah. And also like
you have been doing it for many lifetimes.
Yeah. So like I also feel like if there's any opportunity in the future, I will meet like or I can see them, you know, or see the ET or see whatever like things in other dimensions. Because I feel like I really would like to have this experience as well.
Yeah, sure. So when you start to say that, there's some of the things that I can see. I'm just going to draw that in.
Okay.
Because there's like just all this beautiful energy that I'm seeing sort of like fly around you and like connect with you. You know how we had the energy of the sun come up in two of the cards? So she's holding the wand.
Yes.
This is also like, it's like becoming a beacon of light. So think about like how, you know, we have like moths are attracted to like lights or like candles, things like that. So it's also like in you tuning into like your own true energy and your own true self. Mm-hmm. It's like you become a beacon of light, and then it also makes it easier for like the ETs and things to connect with you as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But I guess the other way to like to connect to them, a lot of it is to do with intention.
Yes.
So it's having like that pure heart intention to just think about them like a brother or sister and just, you know, put it out there to connect them. The other thing that I think that like humans find hard, or like us in human form find hard, is that we know that like all of this reality exists. Yes. But when we do see it, sometimes it's like subtle because they're not existing on the same frequency as us. So practicing to learn to see auras is good. So we use our peripheral energy in our eyes, like the peripheral, which is like the side vision of our eyes, to see auras.
Yes.
And this is also the same vision that we use to see like a lot of ETs and things. So one of the best ways to start to work with them and see is to exercise like your third eye or pineal gland in your dreams.
Yes.
So the more that you can start to like work with, you know how we were doing the cards and I like close my eyes to tune in. So
Yes.
I'm working with the energy of psychometry, which means like to feel, but I also see like visions at the same time. So they'll like show me a picture, but it'll look like I'm watching a movie in my head or I'm seeing a painting.
Mm-hmm.
So the more that you can develop the psychic senses, the easier it is for the ETs to be able to sort of communicate. So a lot of the time they do really communicate subtly, which is frustrating because like on a human level, we want them to like land on the front lawn.
Yeah, I want to go on a UFO.
Exactly. Like we want to hop on board.
Yes.
We want to go for a ride.
Yes.
Just like in all of the movies. So yeah, a lot of the time it is more subtle. There is amazing people, like one of the most amazing, like lots of footage and people that I've met. His name is Antonio Uzi.
Mm-hmm.
He is a UFO guy in Italy, and some of his footage is like so up close. And he'll film like the flying saucers where it's like a metal disc in the sky.
Wow.
And he even says, like when, because I went to Italy to film for Japanese TV last year, so we were filming to do with like UFOs and things, and saw UFOs in Italy.
Oh wow!
And so I flew over to meet him as well because like we were friends online, and we had to meet in person. And he was saying that he gets like on his head, he feels like someone's touching his head and telling him to go outside. So when he does, quite often, like there's a UFO there, it's almost like that our crown chakra or even our hair becomes like an antenna, and you get like a sense or a feeling of, you know, like that contact or that connection. Sometimes it will be also like when you're longing for that connection or like you really feel to connect to that, sometimes like you might feel guided just to go outside, or even like, you know, like in summertime especially, it's a lot easier than it is in winter. To skywatch and look for things that you know, that don't come up on your satellite trackers. Connect and meditate. Also, like they love like jokes and people laughing, because like we throw off so much light when we're happy and like when we're hanging out with friends. So finding friends that you have in common that like to skywatch, and even sometimes it's like, so like when I work with like animals and things, sometimes like when I've seen dolphins in the wild and like you can telepathically communicate to them, we communicate through the heart. The same with elephants. They're like really highly evolved conscious beings, but our telepathic communication is like heart to heart. You can ask them, it's like, if you can telepathically hear me, like turn around and come back, like please don't go away, and they'll like come back. And it's the same sometimes like we're seeing UFOs in the sky. You can consciously connect and feel their energy, and sometimes if they go away, it's like, no, please, like flash. You know, if you can hear me, and you'll see like the UFO flash. Sometimes you'll have like drag race in the sky, but definitely like connect with others that are like-minded. And it's just, it helps make the journey so much easier.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, it was so lovely to meet you. Thanks so much for connecting and sending me that article too. I was thinking I have to get my my partner's mum to read it for me as well. Oh, and here's what the picture looks like. So this will come through either tonight or tomorrow. It just depends on like how happy my computer is like scanning. Sometimes I'll have like glitches with scanning and things like that.
No worries. Thank you so much.
Let me know when you move back to Melbourne as well.
Yes. Okay.
See you later.
See ya. Bye bye. Have a good evening.
Bye, you too.
Bye-bye.
See you.